For more on U.S. Taiwanese diplomacy and potential retaliation from China, joining me live is Rebeccah Heinrichs. She's a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, which was sanctioned by China for, quote, providing a platform and convenience to the Taiwan separatist activities. Oh, my. All right. Well, let's start with this. We've seen these very warm meetings, globe-crossing meetings between Taiwan President Tsai and our leaders, a bipartisan leadership, joining in these meetings. And the reaction from China is to hold enormous war games, essentially. The leadership there, our intelligence says that China's president, Xi Jinping, has instructed his country's military to be ready for potential invasion by 2027. Now, that is not very far away, and being ready doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen right at that moment. But what is your current assessment of the likelihood of China actually moving on Taiwan at any point in the near future?
Well, first of all, that 2027 date, I think, is probably, it could actually be much sooner than that, which is why it's so critically important that this U.S. Congress is bipartisan in pushing the Biden administration to cut all the red tape and all the bureaucracy necessary to move these weapons into Taiwan and into the region in order to prevent Chinese aggression. So the time is now, the time is yesterday, frankly, to make sure that we can get all these weapons in there. So Congressman McCall is exactly right. I'm proud of Hudson Institute, where I work, for giving President Tsai the Global Leadership Award in New York. And that's because there's great solidarity across from the American people, not just in the Congress, for Taiwan to make decisions for itself. And so it's really us who are defending the status quo, and it's critically important that everybody's clear here that it's the Chinese Communist Party that is trying to change the status quo by force.
Is the U.S. ready? And if we're looking at a 5-year timeline, you're suggesting even less. Is the U.S. ready? What would readiness entail?
Well, first of all, the Biden administration deserves credit for getting better basing agreements with the Philippines and other allies in the region. But now you actually have to get capacity, meaning weapon systems, boots on the ground. You have to reboot the military-industrial base that really has been asleep since the Cold War because of this peace dividend, this holiday that Republicans and Democrats have taken. So you have to be doing all of that quickly to produce the necessary weapons at scale, and you've got to get them into the region. We do have the capability to do that now to some extent, but it's going to have to come from the top, from the Biden administration, which is why I'm so grateful that you have Republicans and Democrats demonstrating this strong support for Taiwan. One last point on this. Taiwan is just the first thing that the Chinese Communist Party wants. They have global ambitions to replace the United States. And so, yes, it would create a global recession if they were to take Taiwan, but that's just the beginning. It would be devastating for the American people and our economy, security, and prosperity if China was allowed to prevail.
You know, the United States has had this ongoing policy. It's been called strategic ambiguity. Is it time for that strategic ambiguity to change?
I'm not comfortable with that quite yet. If I was persuaded that that was necessary to successfully give the Taiwanese the assurance that they wanted and to give the PRC the deterrence necessary, then I would definitely be supportive of that. But for now, it's just the status quo, and I think it's important that the United States make clear that we're not the ones changing anything. And again, it's the PRC that's using these visits with Tsai here in the U.S. and then McCall in Taiwan. They're using that as a pretext to really conduct practice exercises of what they'd want to do anyway to actually launch this invasion against Taiwan.
On the periphery of this is the ongoing conflict, Ukraine and Russia. China has been seemingly getting more friendly with Russia. How concerning is that, and is there any sort of tie-in that we should be aware of regarding what this could mean for Taiwan?
Oh, the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation are close, for all intents and purposes, allies now. And so it's a mistake to look at what's going on in Ukraine totally separately from what's going on with China's threats against Taiwan. They're directly related. And I think it's necessary for the United States to back Ukraine to prevail so that we can then make sure that NATO is strong and then we can focus on the Chinese aggression problem in Taiwan. But certainly this is direct line from Joe Biden's precipitous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Remember, that was a NATO mission. This administration likes to take victory laps for strengthening NATO, but that was a huge blow to NATO, and it really opened the door to signal to Russia that they can now invade Ukraine because the United States simply isn't willing to do the hard task of being a global leader.
Rebeccah Heinrichs, thank you so much, covering a lot of ground for us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.